Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Leanne and I enjoy sharing budget-friendly DIYs here on this channel. Today's video is part of the Try It Tuesday challenge, which is a monthly challenge hosted by Sammie from Unicorn Dust Designs. And the idea is that you take something that you have seen made by someone else and kind of put your own spin on it and do your own thing based on that inspiration. So I've got 3 DIYs to share with you today, and I will be telling you about them as we go along and where I got my inspiration from. I will have all of the links to those inspirations along with Sammie's channel and the Try It Tuesday playlist all down in my description box, so make sure that you check that out, and let's get started. All right guys, so for this first one, we are going to take this sign from Hobby Lobby. I picked it up on clearance. I think it was under $2, but you could use just like a board you have on hand or a sign from the Dollar Tree. But this worked out perfect for me. I'm going to take off the sawtooth hanger and pull out any staples, and we're just going to clean this up a little bit. We're going to sand down the surface. We're going to sand down the holes from the staples, sand down where I took off the tag, because this side is actually going to be the front for this project. And once everything is sanded, we're going to fill in all the holes and gaps with lightweight spackling from Dollar Tree. Once that dries, you're going to sand it down again and smooth it out. All these steps may or may not be necessary depending on what you use for your base. And then we're going to give the front a coat of Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. And then we're going to go in with white. The dark color first just kind of helps cover up all this pattern and words. Even though this is going to be the back of the sign, I still want to make sure that it looks completed and finished. Now, the inspiration for this DIY came from Kristen K. I absolutely love her and her channel. She does so many quick and easy Dollar Tree DIYs. Actually, 2 of my DIYs today were inspired by her, and you're going to see where the inspiration comes in later is with the mason jar sign. We will get to that in just a minute, but definitely check out her video. I will have it linked down below, and you can see how she incorporated the mason jar into a sign like you're going to see me do here. So now, once I've got all of my white paint on with all of the coverage I want, I think I did a couple of coats, I'm going in with some apple barrel acrylic paint in the color Burnt Umber, and you dry brush by just putting a little bit of paint on, wiping a lot of it off, and then just dry brushing to give like a distressed look. And now we're going to move on to our mason jar sign. This is from the Dollar Tree. It just comes off pretty easily here, although it does kind of go flying on me here. I took the screws out and then used the scraper tool, and there it went. But yeah, there was just a little bit of hot glue underneath there, which I'm scraping off, that was holding it on. You don't necessarily have to take this off, but I just think it's easier to work with when I'm not worrying about getting anything on that little piece there. So once again, we're going in with Waverly chalk paint in Elephant. Then we're going to go in with the color Celery from Waverly as well. But as I was doing this, I felt like the words were still coming through. So there you can see I like sanded it down a little bit, hoping that would help. So now I'm going in with Celery, and it just was still showing up. I could have peeled off the paper. I probably should have just sanded it better before I got started, but hindsight's always 20/20. So once I got going in this, you can see, I could just still kind of see the writing. So I'm going in with that lightweight spackling, and I'm going to do a thin coat, just kind of pushing it in there, and it actually filled in, it was actually grooves, it wasn't raised. So I did that and then let that dry, sanded it off, and then gave it another coat of the color Celery, and it gave a completely finished look. So there's another tip and trick if you're having trouble with it. So now I'm going to just take off the little hanger on the back. I could have taken that off in the beginning, but I was actually using that to kind of hold my sign while I painted it, but I don't need it for this project, so we're going to take that off, and I'm saving that as well because you never know in the future. And now I'm taking some white stickers. These were from Hobby Lobby that I picked up on clearance a while ago, but you could use a rub-on transfer, you could do words, you could do a design, you could paint a different pattern on, but I'm just going to put on the word joy, and then I'm going in with that burnt umber again, and we're going to dry brush over the whole thing. Right now I'm going to emphasizing the edges, and then we're going to do the whole thing over the words, try to blend it all in a little bit more so that it's not looking like stickers. So that's kind of the point of this here. And the mason jar and the flowers that we're going to be using, that concept was what I got from Kristen Kay's video. But you can see, checking out her video, how we did ours a little bit different. And now we're going to attach the metal top of what's supposed to be the top of the mason jar back on with these little screws. And then I'm going to go in with more of that burnt umber on top of the metal and just once again make that look kind of old and blend in with the rest of the sign. And then once it's completely dry, I do put some Mod Podge over the whole thing. I like using Mod Podge on my projects because I feel like it seals everything in. You don't have to worry about paint scraping off, especially on things like metal, but I pretty much do it on all of my projects. You see lots of different what looks like outfit changes. I did do this video over a course of a couple of days, plus I just kept taking my sweatshirt on and off. And then I pieced all of the clips together to make a cohesive, video to make it make a little bit more sense. So looks like I'm changing my shirt constantly, but that's not really the case. So once everything is dry, the sign, the mason jar, all of that, I'm taking these floral picks that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to clip off a couple of sprigs, and you can usually move the flowers or leaves up and down on the stem and like reposition them to where you want them. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And we're just making a little floral arrangement, holding it up to see, make sure it's how I like how it looks. Make sure I like how it looks. Got tongue-tied there. And now we're just going to use some hot glue, and I just keep putting the sign back over to make sure all of the florals are where I want them, putting some hot glue and then holding them in place kind of flat up against the sign until everything's how I want it, and then putting some hot glue on the bottom and the top. Because of the stems, they don't really, the whole mason jar does not lay flat, but I'm just putting a good amount on the top and bottom, placing that, trying to make sure it's somewhat centered. And that is all I did. Oh no, that's not true. I added a little bit more hot glue. You can't really see what I'm doing here, but I couldn't get a good angle. Just down in the top, just to make sure everything was secured nice and good. And I love how this sign came out. I think it's really cute, and I can't wait to decorate with it. And so yeah, I love this one. Make sure you check out Kristen's channel. For this next one, we're going to take this 4x4 frame from the Dollar Tree. I love this one. It is really cute. It's just plastic, but it looks like it's got this wood grain. This is also inspired by something from Kristen Kay. She did back, I think it was around Valentine's Day. And it was just the simplicity of the idea of all of these items I'm using. So you'll see when we get there. But I'm going to start by just painting this frame with some White Waverly chalk paint. I'm kind of doing a heavy dry brush, so I'm not doing a thick coverage. I liked that wood grain and even the different colors coming through, but I definitely wanted it more on the white side. So that's what I'm doing. But of course, remember with all of these, you can do these in any colors that you want. I am going over it with some Mod Podge to seal in that paint so that it doesn't scrape off on me. But use any frame. You can do this with any size frame as well, or shaped item. But this is what I was using. I did pick out this frame for this DIY in mind to make sure it was the right size for what I wanted to do with it, but there's always variety. Now for my paper, I'm using these file folders from the Dollar Tree. I had picked them up because I thought the pattern on them was super cute, but you could just paint the back of something. You could use some scrapbook paper, whatever you want. And then we're using these little mirrored house stickers from the Dollar Tree. They also have them in like cactuses and butterflies, all sorts of really cute things. But this is what I'm using here, and it was these mirrored stickers that Kristen used that were just so cute and simple, and I'm just centering it on the paper, and I think I do end up using the glass because it's not super thick. And make sure you peel the little, there's a little plastic piece over the mirror tile. You want to take that off so that you get that glossy look, and it's really cute. It's kind of hard to get a good shot of this because it is mirrored. So there's all of the reflection going on, but just a really cute sign. I love the idea of having some signs that don't all have words on them. So I loved this, and I'll have Kristen's video linked down below. For this next one, we are taking plastic wiffle balls from the Dollar Tree and a scarf. Now, these wiffle balls come in a 3-pack, so not a bad price for $1.25. And this idea came from Crafts by Caitlin, another DIYer that I absolutely love. She has these super cute, simple ideas.
And the fabric I decided to use was this scarf, and I have this little rotary cutter from the Dollar Tree. I ended up switching to scissors, back to scissors. It didn't work super great, but it might just be the material I was using, so I can't give a full review on that rotary cutter. But we're just Mod Podging the fabric onto this wiffle ball. Now, I only do one of these. Obviously, for a lot of displays, you might want multiple of these, but honestly, I had a limited time. I was working on these DIYs after we came back from vacation, so I only got one of them done for this video, but you still get the idea. You could use any fabric. Dollar Tree, at least my Dollar Trees lately, have been coming out with great variety of fabric pieces, but I picked up this scarf from the Dollar Tree and loved how it looked. It's very thin, and so the pieces kind of move around a lot. So I did this in sections and kind of let it dry in between, just because if I kept going all around it, I felt like the material was just moving. So that's what I did for this, but I just kept going until it was fully covered, and you could do this for any season. I'm really excited to do more of these as the time goes on. But you could just put these in a little like decorative bowl or a basket or fillers on a shelf, but such a cute idea and a very inexpensive way to get these decorative balls because they can be kind of pricey. You could wrap them with twine. Anyways, I love the idea of doing these with fabric, and I will have Caitlin's video linked down below for you.
All right, so that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out so much. Subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to check out all the links down in my description box. And that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.